You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today we have another show lined up for y'all today. Man, we're going to check in with a returning guest, Reverend Dean Nelson, and he is also part of humancoalition.org. Today, we're going to talk about Planned Parenthood. They are opening their first mobile abortion clinic in Southern Illinois. This was published on NPR. I want to welcome you to the show for us today. And so how you doing, sir?
Hey, man, it's great to be back on. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This is definitely the first for Planned Parenthood to kind of demonstrate their commitment to abortion at any time, wherever they can get it. And but we've seen this kind of thing before. I mean, this is actually just the latest development in a series of offensive moves from the abortion industry. I mean, you guys have probably heard about California that's advertising around the country, talking about itself as an abortion destination. States like Colorado have legalized abortion up until birth. So it's a series of things that are going on around the country as more restrictions on abortions are happening in certain states. Some states are trying to take advantage of it. But the sad thing is that they're taking advantage of it ultimately to kill more children.
Based on NPR.org, the article, Planned Parenthood, they're claiming that they're just giving easier access, give people less of a drive to get quote unquote healthcare. What are some of the things that people can educate themselves more on? Because it's a very hot topic and a lot of people are very intensely involved emotionally with this. How can we have discussions to where this can be an educational opportunity versus just very strung out on high emotions?
Yeah, man, that's a really good question. I think one of the things that we try to do at Human Coalition is to, educate people on the good work that we do. For instance, in that same state of Illinois, in Chicago, we have a telecare program that engages with women who are seeking abortions and helps connect them to pregnancy centers and other resources in their community, because out of the hundreds of thousands of women that we have engaged with over the years, 76% of the women that we have surveyed say that they would choose to parent if their circumstances were different. And so that's one of the reasons that Human Coalition does what we do through our engagement of women seeking abortions, because we know they're in a really difficult situation. Many of them are distraught. They may not even know all of the resources that are out there. So again, if 76% of these women who are looking to get an abortion say that they would choose to parent if their circumstances were different, we want to see how we can come alongside them to change those circumstances so that they can make a healthy choice for themselves and for their preborn child. The other thing that I think is important in our discussion with people to highlight is, as we see certain states that are creating laws that are more restrictive on abortion, we see Planned Parenthood and abortion clinics closing. I think that's a real telling sign, because they always say, we're here to provide help for women. We care for women. But we know that really their business model is to perform abortions. So if in states where there are more restrictions on abortions and you're now leaving those states, I thought you said that you cared for women. It really proves that their heart and their actions really have always been to perform abortions, not really care for women. And I think that's an important discussion point that needs to be brought up, regardless if somebody thinks that they're pro-choice or pro-life or somewhere in the middle. If you have an industry that is the largest abortion provider in the country, but they tout themselves on providing quote unquote health care for women, but yet they're closing their shops and moving out of these states, that really shows what they were really about. And that is to perform abortions, which we all know is the intentional killing of a preborn child.
Once again, talking to Reverend Dean Nelson, and you can learn more about Human Coalition by visiting humancoalition.org. Last question, we'll get you out here. When people are seeing organizations like Human Coalition who are trying to offer an alternative option, a lot of backlash has been given and received by organizations like yourself. What's some of the things that people can do to help support nonprofits like yourself who are trying to give another option, not necessarily tell people what to do?
Yeah, I think one thing that they should know is that 96% of the women that come to Human Coalition, even if they leave and they choose to get an abortion, 96% say that they would still refer us to another friend or a family member. That says a lot. That says that we, regardless of what a woman decides, people should know that we care and that we serve women. We just don't perform the abortions. Additionally, if you're in a state like Texas or in a state like North Carolina or Georgia, you can remind people that we work in collaboration with the state to help provide services to women. So while we are privately funded, we also work with states to provide solutions to help women. Some of you may know that when the Heartbeat Act in Texas was passed, prior to that, we had worked with state legislatures behind the scenes to make sure that there was over $100 million that was appropriated to help women. Because just because we changed the law doesn't mean immediately that the demand for abortion goes down. And so we feel like that there should be resources to help women in those transitional and difficult situations. So I would say to people to know that information, that our goal has always been to rescue children, but we do that by supporting women and mothers. And if they want more information, they can visit us at humancoalition.org, where they can support our work and learn more about some of the great testimonies that women have shared with us in terms of how we've helped them to make those great decisions to keep their children.
Thank you to you, Reverend Dean Nelson with humancoalition.org, for taking time in your schedule to talk to I'm Refocused Radio today.
Hey, man, you guys are blessed. Thanks so much for having me.